Talking Shirts is presented in partnership with White Oak Cottage. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk. Hello, and welcome to episode number 129 of Talking Shirts. I'm Mike from Hull KR Shirts, and today we're going to take a look at this 2010 away shirt, which was issued to Chev Walker. Now, this shirt is purely match issued, it isn't match worn, and the reason for that is because at the end of the 2009 season, in the playoffs, Hull KR travelled to the Leeds Rhinos, where Chev suffered a horror injury, breaking his leg. That ruled him out for the entirety of the 2010 N-Gage Super League season, meaning that when he left the club at the end of that year, his final appearance in a Hull KR shirt was at Headingley Stadium on the game that he broke his leg. He did leave Hull KR to join Bradford, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we progress through the episode. We'll now focus on the shirt. So the shirt, it's a predominantly navy shirt, which is quite surprising really, with the amount of white and green that features across this shirt here. We have got the quite maybe a medium-sized band going through the middle, which is in this sort of green screen green colour, like a lime green, and that colour green features quite prominently across the kit. The Cougar branding is also in that colour. We have got the piping of the sleeve detail, the piping of the collar, and then we have also got these sort of lines that kind of like sort of push down and then arc around the front of the shirt. We've got one in green, one in white, one in navy, one in white, and then we've got green piping that sits on the top of that as well. Within the white elements here, you can actually see that we have got the Hull KR Club crest. Now, it does actually feature in the green as well. It's just a lot harder to see, whereas you should be able to see that in sort of a grey colour within that white sort of arc, if you like. Not quite sure what word to use to describe that. All of the sponsors on here feature in their natural colourway. So we've got TC Power, we've got Cash for Kids, and we have got Sporting Bet. Sporting Bet was a front of shirt sponsor for 2 years, for 2010 and for 2011. We have got a wonderful level of reinforced stitching around this collar here. Lovely arc going on here. Then we have got a completely different collar to that features on the replica. I mean, the material that the replica was made of was so heavy. I mean, if you was wearing that and it rained, my word, did that become heavy. And the reinforced stitching is, as I've said, continues around the collar here, forming in this sort of inverted V-neck, if you like, where it goes inside. And then we've even got a layer of fabric behind that as well. So, you know, in the last episode where we talked about Matt Parcells' shirt that had been completely ripped off him, I'm not quite sure this would have been able to rip. I don't even know if Eddie Hall could have ripped this one. You know, it's so strong. Well made, definitely very well made. Wonderful. So yeah, we have also got the Hull Kingston Rovers Club crest that features in its natural colourway. Back in this era, we wasn't really sort of faffing around with the colour of the crest like we see in the 2020s now, where we have sort of different coloured crests on different coloured shirts. Interesting to see what a lime green crest might have looked like on this shirt. Yeah, interesting. I have been quite critical of this shirt. It's not one that I'm very fond of. Maybe I just don't like the green. But yeah, not really for me. On the sleeve here, we have kind of got a reversed chevron going up the sleeve. So we've got a green one and a white one. We've got JC Services and Sun Limited. That has been dye sublimated in a natural colourway. And then we've also got the N-Gage Super League competition patch, which has also been dye sublimated into the shirt. 2010, there wasn't any competition patches. That did change kind of as we sort of progressed on. Nowadays, you know, everything's heat applied. There were felt, if you can remember back to the sort of 08, 09 shirts, they were in felt on these kits, whereas they were completely dye sublimated across the entirety of Super League in 2010, I believe. Wonderful level of detail as well with the additional fabric piping on here, and then the stitching that continues all the way down the sleeves there. Everything about the shirt is pretty much pristine. As I've said, it's not been worn, it's not seen any sort of match action or anything like that. It's in really good condition. And this sleeve here got the same sponsor in JC Services and Sun Limited, and then we've got another competition patch. So yeah, not really too much to talk about at all there. So what we're going to do now is just have a quick break, and then when we return, we will talk about the reverse of the shirt and Chev Walker.
White Oak Cottage is a 2-bedroom luxury holiday cottage set in the stunning Lincolnshire Wolds. It has 2 ensuite bedrooms, a hot tub, wood burner, Wi-Fi, electric vehicle charger, and is pet friendly. It is ideally situated in the Wolds, yet only 15 miles from the coast and 25 miles from the historic city of Lincoln. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk.
Welcome back to episode number 129 of Talking Shirts. Before that quick break, we were just talking our way around the 2010 away shirt, and we have now returned with the reverse. So the back of this shirt, the navy just continues. There isn't any sort of side panels on these shirts. It was literally just front fabric and then back fabric. A lot of the sort of restrictive elements comes with the sleeves, really. It's not really sitting too well on the mannequin, so I am constantly trying to adjust it so it doesn't obstruct anything that we're trying to talk about. So yeah, all navy back. We've got lime property that features dye sublimated natural colourway, and then just below that we've got Sporting Bet. Again, they were the front of shirt sponsor. There was an element of sort of front of shirt sponsor appearing on the back of a shirt during this era. We saw it kind of all the way through from 2007 through to 2010. Not quite sure on 2011, so I'm not going to say. Should we have a quick look? Let's have a quick look. No, it wasn't on the back of the 2011. So yeah, up until 2010, we did see the front of shirt sponsor featuring on the front and obviously the upper back of the shirt. And then we've got the Grimsby Institute as well, which has been dye sublimated in white down there at the bottom. As you can see, we've got Walker, squad number 12, that has been heat applied to the back of this shirt. As I've said before, probably my favourite name and number set. I just think it's really striking. It's visible, it's readable, it's not offensive. I quite like the little arc that you get with in this era. Some shirts sort of just have the names in a straight sort of panel, whereas on this one we do have that slight little curve, which I think takes a little bit more time to be able to produce, but for me it does aesthetically look really, really good. As I mentioned at the beginning, Chev Walker, he suffered that horror injury at Leeds at Headingley on the 18th of September 2009. And that was the end of his Hull KR career. He was issued with squad number 12 for the following season. It was going to be a positional change for him. Predominantly played as a centre when he signed for Hull KR. In the 34 games that he played, he scored 5 tries, most of those from the centre position. As you can tell, it was probably going through a positional change with the club, and that is then something that continued when he moved to the Bradford Bulls for the 2011 season. We kind of saw him play a little bit of centre at Bradford, then he moved into the second row, and he did actually also play loose forward as well. So he kind of dropped out of the backs and then into the pack, sort of as his career sort of powered on. He did have another further 5 years playing rugby league after leaving Hull KR. So it's good to see that injury that he had in that playoff at Leeds didn't actually sort of hinder his career in that sense. And obviously he made his final Hull KR appearance at Headingley Stadium, which is where he resides now. He's currently an assistant coach with Leeds Rhinos. And he must look at that pitch that he suffered that injury on every week and think, how things could have been different if he hadn't have picked up that injury. But he's done really well for himself. It was good to see that he got back playing rugby after that injury, and it was just a shame that he wasn't able to continue that progression with Hull KR. So yeah, that's been everything for your episode number 129 of Talking Shirts. Incredible, really, how we've been able to sort of talk about so many different shirts for quite long periods of time as well. Now, something that I thoroughly enjoy doing. As I've explained before, I do this for an audience of one. But for every person that talks to me about it or enjoys the episodes, is really special to me, and it just does mean an awful lot. So thank you very much if you've made it this far. That's everything. Check back in another couple of weeks and I'll be back with episode number 130 of Talking Shirts. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.